This is Keith Walter, and I'm the FOBAC president. And once again, we're doing a live update. Good morning, and I'm going to go ahead and initially turn it over to Mike Aho, who is going to talk to us about what's going on in the park. Mike, take it away.
Hey, thank you, Keith. Yeah, I'm out here at the back of the clubhouse. And if you didn't know, the park has now been open for almost a month. And so we're starting to program and do activities and stuff in it. It's been incredibly busy. We'll talk more about that later. But I wanted to let you know that we're still doing some work out here. And that work is what we call our punch list. It's little things that we need to get done that we didn't get done, but didn't affect occupancy overall for the project. So we're able to open it up and then continue the work. We got about a month worth of punch list items. And those punch list items can be small and they can be rather large. And so as we continue to move along in this piece of the puzzle, in about 3 weeks or so, we'll be wrapping up the punch list, and then we'll be releasing the contractors and everybody from the site. But most of the work, you probably won't see most of the work. Is pretty minor stuff, as I mentioned. Nothing got too big. I want to show you one of the big items, which we've just got approval for the design yesterday, I was told. So, which is good because then we can continue to move forward here on it. As I mentioned, I'm in the back of the clubhouse, and you can see that's the service yard and the gate here, and then the entrance into the service yard. Well, what happens is that there's an exit sign coming in from the clubhouse that points you out the back door, which I'll be going in a minute, and then points you into the yard here. And so if there's an incident in the clubhouse and we have to exit, and you would basically be exiting into a locked gate yard. So there would be no way out. You'd be just sitting here in this little cage because that gate could potentially be locked when we are doing programs and stuff. So they've asked us to put in a gate, basically a standing gate that has a push bar on it that you can get out if there is an incident. And so we have certain requirements to do that. And it has to be engineered. We just can't do it kind of willy-nilly because we need to make it last and not affect the integrity of the overall fence here in the yard. So the yard looks good. It's all cleaned up. And we've got a few tables here we're still going to be putting out later. Right now, obviously, we don't need a ton of tables out in the park. So we're storing them back here. But we'll be moving them back out into the park here shortly. Because as we get more and more busy, this yard gets more and more activated back here with caterers and providers of things that we have in the facility. So I'm standing here at the back entrance of the clubhouse, and nothing too exciting, but it's kind of a nice area because it overlooks the park. One of the other things I want to show you is we've activated our door security system, our access system. So now all we got to do is just scan our thing, turns green, and in we go. Now, our users and renters will have that opportunity as well to utilize that. And so if you rented our facility, we're either going to have the facility unlocked on a scheduled unlock for you, or we're going to give you a card that you can temporarily use to get in and through the facilities. That's specifically more so for our instructors that they would be using those cards. And those cards do time out, and we do ask for people to return them. But if they don't, they'll lose a little bit of their deposit if they don't return the card. They're not incredibly expensive, but it's more of a pain in the tail end to replace them. We have a stock of them, but that's more so for staff and maintenance crews and things like that, cleaners that come in. I'm in the kitchen here. This is a commercial kitchen. It's all done. You can see some over here a little bit where our dishwasher's been running. We got a few glasses up there from the gala, which was the grand opening event, and our refrigerators are running, warming stuff's running, all that stuff. So the kitchen itself is historically will be locked unless you're renting and then included the kitchen, but otherwise it'll be locked. You see the access code door there is locked. So you can be in here but not access the kitchen. And that's good because we don't really want people wandering around through the kitchen if they haven't been permitted to do that. And so the clubhouse is ready. We've had multiple events in here. You can see the beautiful floor. The sound system's incredible. And we've got our new curtains up on the stage. And those just came in. We had to get them a fire marshal approved curtains. We had to get a sticker on them. And that was, again, a punch list thing that we were able to take care of and get a punch list for so we could put the curtains up. for a while we didn't have the curtains up and we were running programs in here, including some pretty big events. And you could without this back curtain here, this black curtain, this backdrop, you would get like the exit lights, showing off the front of the stage and stuff. So now with the curtains, it actually looks like a stage. And then we have the front curtains here, so you can actually close those or partially close them. And we've been partially closing them while we show video up there on that long white bar there. That's a down screen. That's electronic. It comes down, and then the projector's right behind it, and it shows then on the screen. It's kind of neat because you can stand in front of the screen if you're on this front part of the stage, and you do not impact the showing of whatever's on the screen. So I like that part a lot, as I've been in here doing a few things. As mentioned, we've had some meetings and stuff like that in here. I want to tell you about what's coming up here in this facility. On December 13th, we have what's called the Grinchy Christmas, and that is just what it sounds like. It's the Grinch, and it's December 13th. It's here in the clubhouse. We have 2 seatings, 4 o'clock and 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock. It's an hour-long program, and it's just a Christmas event for families and kids and stuff. I got a ticket, and so I'm going to go, and it should be a lot of fun. But we will sell out, and so I highly recommend you, if you have friends, family, grandkids, whatever, even if you just want to come to it. Again, it's more for families and kids, but if it's something you think would be fun to do, go ahead, get a ticket and show up. It's relatively affordable, $15 per person. For the early bird tickets, I don't know when that ends, but it's probably still going on. And then $20 per person afterwards. Or you can buy a whole table, $100 early, or $140 at the regular price. So in this facility too, as I mentioned, this is available for rent. And so if you have a wedding coming up, a family reunion, things like that, we'd love to have you out here. We got like the bar here for the groups that come in, the whole sound system, the screen, all that. We got tables, chairs that we put out here for a group. We seat about 180 people in here. So it's not huge, but it's a great facility. And with that, Keith, I will.
Hey, Mike, just before we let you go, can you talk to us a little bit about if people are interested in buying tickets or understanding what are their events, where would they go to look for that information?
Yeah, you can go to FORPD.org, and that stands for Fair Oaks Recreation and Park District.org, FORPD. And you go under the events tab, and all of these things are under the event tab. So we're also, and Keith, that's a great point, on that website, there's a tab there for volunteering. We can use volunteers. And if you want to help out the community, that's a great place to go. We have volunteer opportunities right now for the Grinchy Christmas, and then also for our tree lighting and Christmas in the Village celebration, which I'll talk about later. But those opportunities for volunteering are on our website, and we really encourage people to do that. It keeps those prices relatively low, so we're allowed, so we can do that. We have someone clearing tables, you have someone seating people, all that kind of stuff. It gets very, very expensive to do. But when you have volunteers help out from the community, it really does make a difference. And some of the volunteers are actually our community partners, like the Rotary Club. Those members volunteer for different things. People in the dog park, Little League, the soccer groups, our garden clubs, all those kinds of folks. They also volunteer as part of their partnership agreement with us.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So talking about community events, and this is just a little bit outside of the village, but it's an annual event, which can be a lot of fun. The Cemetery District invites the community tomorrow evening, actually, for what they call Light Up the Cemetery. It's a fun family event. They set up fire pits and do s'mores. The different tombstones have little candles on them, and it's quite beautiful. And so if you've never been before, if you want to understand this other community service that's out there, that's a great opportunity to get out and see the cemetery and meet some of your neighbors and enjoy a little bit of family time. And with that, Nan, I'll turn it back to you to share a little bit about what else is going on in the village.
Thank you so much, Keith. I really appreciate it. So I am coming to you from the village. I'm right outside the Coffee House and Deli, which has been a staple here in our community since the mid-'80s. And there with the park opening, people are coming back to the village, which is awesome. I don't know if you've spent some time down here, but you've noticed the park is full of people, kids playing on the playground, and the chickens are even back. And we're looking to see a lot more things happen in the village. I wanted to share right now that many of you may have heard, but the iconic townhouse building, which I'm bringing in, is actually went on the market a few weeks ago and is in contract. So sometime in the next year or two, we will see that building reactivated and new businesses coming to the village with that, which is phenomenal, I believe. And there are other buildings that are available as well. And so I look to see more development like that in the village, more businesses that are visitor focused coming back to the village and making it the vibrant place that it used to be years and years ago. Thank you to the Park District for helping spur that as well with the whole redevelopment of the park. As Mike mentioned, the tree lighting is coming up the first Thursday in December. And in order to facilitate that and make the village ready, BOVEC is partnering with the chamber to do decorating in the village. So right now we're getting the merchants to buy garlands, and we will be doing the lighting. It's projected to be either the Sunday or Monday before Thanksgiving. And if you'd like to volunteer and help with that, it's a great thing to do. It's a super fun event. We all get together and go down the street and hang the lights and hang the garlands and interact with the merchants. And it just gives you a really feel-good feeling and helping your community. So that will be either the Sunday or Monday. If you want more information, go to the FOVEC website, or you can email us at info@fairoaksvillage.com. Or better yet, come tonight to the board meeting. It starts at 5 o'clock at the old library at 4200 Temescal. So that's kind of what I have at the moment. Keith, back to you.
Thank you very much, Nan. So let me go on with a couple of other things that are taking place in and around the village. Coming up on November 10th, one of the things that Fair Oaks is well known for is our roosters, our chickens. And the county is revisiting their ordinances around this. They've had a couple of meetings so far. And if you're interested in commenting, if you're someone who keeps chickens in your backyard or care about the welfare of these wonderful animals that have made our village so special, then you might want to drop in on the 10th. It's going to be taking place down in Sacramento, and they're going to be talking about limits and also ordinances to make sure that the animals stay safe. If you're not aware, in our community, very near to the village, we have a high school at the corner of Winding Way and Fair Oaks. It's called Meraki. They've become quite a wonderful supporter of activities in and around the village. It's a project-based high school where the students learn through doing collaborative projects together. And they have what they call their winter market. It's an opportunity for them to display their crafts, to highlight some of the local food, and it's a fun activity. That'll take place on December 5th, and if you're interested, Clarissa French at sanjuan.edu is your contact person for learning more about that. She's also your contact person if you would be interested in partnering with Meraki. There are a number of opportunities for this. They're always looking for ways to get their students career experience. And so what we used to call, take your child to work day, if you're in a situation where you can share kind of your workplace experience with one of these young people, it's a great way for them to understand what adults do and what their career opportunities might be. They hold what they call a mock interview day, which I participated in several years, where we go out and interview the students and prepare them for that difficult point where they're trying to make the transition from being students to working young adults. And so a great opportunity if you're interested in becoming more involved in the community. Speaking of becoming involved in the community, as I think everyone is aware, the inflation continues to go on, and food availability, food scarcity is a real problem in our community. Fair Oaks is lucky to have a local food bank. It's based in Orangevale. It serves both the Fair Oaks and Orangevale community, and they are doing everything they can to stretch their resources to provide food during this difficult time. If you're in need, please reach out to the food bank, and they will do everything they can to hook you up with meals a couple of times a month and provide you with other resources. If you're in a position to donate, the stores are starting to deplete, and they would love for your donations, particularly staples like peanut butter and pasta. They're in desperate need of right now. And with that, Mike, if you're still with us, I'm going to go back to you. I think you've got another update for us.
Thank you, Keith. Yes, I do. I'm out here in the amphitheater, and amphitheater for this season is closed. And it was exciting to have a couple of shows in here. I came in here on a sold out night for comedy and thoroughly enjoyed myself at the show. We had our concessions going. All of our systems seemed to have been working. We had some challenges, but nothing substantial. And one of the things I wanted to point out about the seating, and I'll just go to mine because I did buy a seat or sponsor a seat for this facility. And you can see these plaques on the chairs, at certain chairs. These are plaques of people who have bought or paid for and sponsored a seat. And so mine here says, donated by Mike Aho, celebrating parks, recreation, and arts. And then I've got one for my wife right next door. Obviously, she wants to sit next to me. And so donated by Sarah Aho, an evening out enriched by the arts. So if you're interested, it's $500 for 5 years. And you get that plaque on there. Then you get the first right of renewal if you would like. You don't have to. And we'll sell as many seats as needed. It is a great fundraiser for us to do and continue to keep this space active and clean and in good repair. So really, that's what the money's for. It's for to keep this in its best possible condition. You can see quite a few of the plaques out there as people have bought. And we'll see more and more people do that as they realize what a great thing it is. Also, for that $500, you will get other benefits, but we're still working on those. For an example, opening night of a show, we may have a wine tasting or something like that. But you don't necessarily get that reserved seat. Now, mine's in the H row, and if I want to get that seat, what I have to do is make certain I sign up or get my ticket early and just reserve that seat. So it was too difficult for us to figure out a way to get the reserved seat ahead of time, because you don't get free shows with your seat purchase, but you do get that plaque and some other benefits. And so I highly encourage people to do it. It worked great for me. I just went ahead and got my tickets early and sat in my seat and reserved my seat. So that when we have an open seating show, which we haven't had yet, but I suspect we'll have some, that'll be kind of a different outlier where you're going to have to probably just get in the facility early, just before the show, and stake out your seat if that's what you want. I purposely got one on the aisle so I wouldn't disturb people if I had to leave or had to take a phone call or something like that. So I'm going to go inside the Arts and Entertainment facility here and kind of show you a few things. I think, Keith, we are having our FOVEC meeting here tonight. Is that correct?
I think we're at the old library this evening, Mike.
Oh, well, I'd like to see if we can change that. Maybe I'll see if I can get in here with us and we'll walk across the street. So
we'd love to move if that's available.
Yeah, and I have moved you. I don't know if I've moved you for this meeting, but I've moved it for the ongoing. So I'm in that room that I was just kind of talking about. This is the flex rooms. It's also the green rooms for shows. You can see we have some makeup areas there on the ends of the room. And you can see we have a square area here with some chairs and tables set up for a meeting. Not a huge space, but it works for meetings like our FOVEC meeting coming up. It works for small workshops, small classes, things like that. It's actually a pretty neat asset for the community. And so excited to be able to start using this. I've had one one meeting in here with a group of folks, and then I know we've had some classes in here. So, and then we even had some staff meetings in here with our staff. So it's a nice little facility to be able to access for the community when there's no shows. We are fully activated here in the black box now for the season. So that means that almost all of the performances that we do and stuff will be inside the black box. I'm in the lobby area. This is the concession area. It's a little messy right now, but they'll fix it up and clean it up before the next show. They're just stocking and things like that and getting ready for the show. I'm going to step into the stage, and we've got our new curtains up. Those just came in the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, and they got them hung. There's a bunch of curtains. I don't know how it all works, but our theatrical people do, and they think it's great. And then our sound and lighting system, including our soundboard for any of the performances, things in here. Right now, we're set up. This was set up for a lecture series, and so we had the screen down, had the podium over there, and then a small number of folks, but it's still kind of neat, you know, to be able to sit here. So this configuration of just basically 3 levels of seating, plus some ground level seating, is pretty minor, pretty minuscule in terms of setup, but it can be much bigger. This area can seat about 110 people. And so with the stage generally in the middle of the floor and the 2 wings having the risers and the chairs on those risers. That's what it was like when I came in here to watch Beetlejuice, and it worked out very well. And it wasn't a ton of people, but it was really neat and really intimate to do that. And when the show's intermission, I'll step out into the lobby here. When the show goes to intermission, or when you enter in, you're going to enter in through the front door of this facility, not through the amphitheater. So the amphitheater, again, is closed for the season. So all of our stuff will be happening through the front door of this facility. So I'm in the lobby now, the full lobby. The concessions is just behind that door. Lobby bathrooms in here, overlooking the plaza. But anyway, this is the main entrance for it, of the facility. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the upcoming shows that we have in this facility, and some of the things that will be here. The first one is going to be this weekend. We have a magician in here, and so those tickets are still available. So if you're interested in that, I'd highly recommend getting tickets. And then our comedy series comes back on the 14th of November, and we have a great comedian. I've got tickets for that show as well. And so I'll be here with the comedy series. And then on the 15th, that Saturday, we've got a film screening of Wicked. And so we'll be putting that up on that big screen inside the black box, and we'll be able to see a film screening of Wicked here in Fair Oaks. So almost like a movie theater, if you will. So kind of nifty. And then we have a individual performer coming in on November 23rd. And then a theatrical series, As You Like It, which is a Shakespeare show, weekends in December. And then the comedy returns December 12th here in the black box. So a lot going on, and as Keith mentioned, or asked about, we will be having tickets available on our website, and you can go to forpd.org or fairoaksarts.org and get tickets there as well. The other one, which is kind of fun, I wanted to point out, is we have an event coming up called Santa Claus Conquers Martians. And it's a part of our concert series. We recommend coming out to that one, September 19th. Should be a lot of fun. And I'm going to head outside and talk a little bit about the tree lighting just in a minute here.
Hey, Mike, before you head outside,
Yeah.
I wonder if you could just clarify for people, because those of us who have been around for a while think of the Park District as having the clubhouse and the amphitheater, but you've actually got quite a number of stages and different configurations.
Yeah.
And maybe it's worth just clarifying the names and the locations of all the different venues that are available.
Yeah, I'll start with our thank you, Keith. I'll start off with our band shell. The band shell is where Concert in the Park was held. We did have a concert in there a couple of weeks ago. It was raining, so the numbers were down. But that's the band shell. It's by the playground. It's an outside facility. There's no seating out there. You have to bring your own camp chair or blanket or something like that. And that's always been that way for Concerts in the Park. And that's going to continue for Concerts in the Park next year. And then we go into the clubhouse. I was up on the stage there, kind of showing you the new curtain back there and the sound system. And then the amphitheater stage, which is where the blue seats are, and where we talked about seat sponsors, and the stage that overlooks those. And then when those doors close of that stage, you become a black box theater, which is what I was just in, with the speaker series. And so that's the fourth stage. And then the fifth stage is right here on Plaza Park. That's another outside stage. So really, we have two outside stages and three inside two inside stages and one hybrid, which is the amphitheater. And it's covered for the actors and actresses, but not necessarily for the audience. So it's kind of neat. We can actually activate 4 of those stages at one time. And so one event can activate 4 stages. When we had our grand opening events here, we had a folk fest, and we were activating 3 of the stages at one time. And so it's kind of fun to see the stages get activated and how the community responds to it, and how we do setup and how things get torn down, and how we do. It'll be interesting when we do our Christmas event out here in the plaza, because what we anticipate, we just talked about this yesterday, we anticipate is using these ramp areas here kind of as a tiered area for our singing groups. Let's just say it's a grade school singing group. They got a bunch of kids and they need to be semi-elevated. So this kind of change in elevation we think could work for a group like that. We'll see. I'm trying not to bring in a separate stage that we could potentially put right out here, kind of a portable stage, if you will. But I just think I want to try and use the facility for what it was built for. We'll see how it plays out. Maybe next year we'll make a change and we'll do it a little differently. But up here on this part of the stage where this arch is, this is where the Christmas tree is. So this part of the stage actually is unusable during Christmas because the tree is rather large. We spec this stage specifically to our Christmas tree size. So that's a little power right there for it. So that's where it'll be lit up at. And we've got the lights flanking it right here. So it's kind of a neat thing. It overlooks the village, but it is when we've used this stage, we used it for the grand opening. It was incredible. It was actually worked out very, very well for those types of things. For Christmas, we'll see. It's going to be crowded up here. So we'll see how that works out. But anyway, that's this area here, the plaza. We got the seating back over there by the market lights. I constantly see people over there, not today, and it's pouring down rain, but there's people over there eating lunch, visiting, bringing their food. It's been really nice. I've seen people have business meetings over there. I've seen people working on their computer. It's just great. So as mentioned, tree lighting, December 4th here in Village Park at the Plaza stage, which is what I'm on, 5 to 8 p.m. We've got a bunch of other events going on for that event. So inside the Arts and Crafts building, we'll have Make and Take Arts and Crafts for kids. We'll have some performances inside the clubhouse as well as out here. And so all of this is free, and we look forward to having the community back out here for just a really fun kind of grand opening Christmas, if you will. So with that, Keith, I will wrap it up.
Hey, Mike, just before we let you go, one of the questions that everyone asks me anyway is how's parking? Because obviously, in the past, parking has been a challenge. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts on how it's been since the park is reopened, or what possible solutions might exist.
Yeah, good question. During the grand opening, it was obviously a challenge. We had a lot of people here in the village. And the restaurants and businesses get busy, and they access the parking areas around the park as well. And our participants want to access the parking around this park. There's 91 spots around the park. It's not enough, and so it's just a spillover. We also have the ability to utilize during our big events FOVEC lot. Thank you, FOVEC, for that, which is about a block and a half from where I'm standing, pretty close. And we do a paid reservation system. So for an example, if you coming to Christmas in the Village and you see on our website parking information, please click on that, reserve a spot over there. You won't have to drive around the Village looking for a spot. Like I said, it's a block and a half from here, very convenient. And you get assigned a number for your parking spot. And at, let's just say, I don't know the exact times, but let's just say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that lot is available for you to park in until you leave, whenever that might be. So if you decide to come to the tree lighting hang out in the village, have a drink, have dinner, whatever, walk around, just enjoy the community. When you're ready to go, you can go and you can get out of here. You don't have to hassle with parking at all. We actually put some additional, this is try and stem some of the individuals from driving if we can. That is one of the biggest problems. We just have a lot of people that just drive in here. If you didn't have to drive, it'd be very, very helpful. We'd have a lot more space in the park, but people do have to drive. So we want to keep that in mind. And so we've created these, I'm going to turn my camera around. We've created here in front of the amphitheater, these two little parking spots here, and these are for shared ride drop off only. So these aren't available for parking during events. It is a drop off, very convenient to the village and to the park and to the amphitheater. So we hope that people would utilize that access as well. There's no good answer, Keith. That's probably the best thing I can give you. A lot of little things we can do. I want to put in a few more bike racks, encourage people to bike, and give us some security. So those would be under a lit area. They'd be solid racks that people could securely lock their bikes to, and should help a little bit. We get four bike racks, we get 4 bikes, we got 4 less, well, probably 2 less cars, and so that's a good thing. And with our same thing with our lift here, if we've got 20 people riding our share ride, then we have 20 less cars. If we got 15 people walking, we got 15 less cars, or probably not 7 less cars. But anyway, so the intent is to try and encourage other usage to get down here, as well as trying to provide some alternative parking things. We're continuing to work on it. I don't know if we'll ever have a great answer. It's constraints of the village.
All right, Mike, I appreciate that. And obviously we'll continue to sort it out as the events continue and we learn more about people's usage.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Before we wrap this up, one thing that I want to share is we're going to try an experiment. A week from next Tuesday, I'm hosting what we're calling Friends of Fair Oaks Meetup. It's going to take place at the Tutors, or the co-working facility, which is in the village. It's free. We would ask you to register so we can make sure we have the right level of refreshments. And it's just an opportunity to meet with other interested folks who are interested in making sure that Fair Oaks continues to be a wonderful place to live and work and play. And we're going to have informal conversations. We're going to pick each other's brains and figure out kind of what you'd like to see the village become, what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. And for anyone who is interested, loves the village, hope you'll show up and share your ideas. I'll remind everyone again that FOVAC has their monthly board meeting this evening. If you're interested, please register, or if you end up going to the old library and Mike is successful in getting us moved, look for a sign, and we may be across the street. It's not very far, but you'll find us if you're interested, and we'll be meeting this evening. We're always interested in having new members. You can join online and sign up for updates for free, although we would absolutely encourage you to join as a paid member, because that helps us do events like these live updates and bring you the parking lot and things like live events in the park. So with that, unless Mike or Nan have anything else that you'd like to add, I'll wrap this up and we'll see you all back here next month.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.